as you've pointed out, Keir Starmer said that, the politicians that called for a national inquiry were jumping on a bandwagon of the far right. It is precisely this attempt to shut down conversation about anything difficult, uncomfortable or controversial, which mainly comes from the progressive left of our society, by throwing out the dog. We saw this with Lucy Powell relatively recently, when Tim Montgomery, a political commentator and supporter of reform, raised the issue of grooming gangs. And she said, oh, here you go, getting out the dog whistle. It's a very serious issue that we shouldn't be playing political, silence games with. So it's precisely this idea of saying, you can't talk about this, you're a racist, this is the language of the far right, that emboldens the populist left, because people feel that they are trying to be, silenced by this accusation. So, to some certain extent, a lot of the blame lies on this sense that we cannot talk about contested issues because there are those on the left that will not tolerate it. There are also equally those on the right that will exploit that. We saw that, we've seen that repeatedly in a country. But this inability to talk about it is precisely what fuels the far right, precisely what fuels populist politics, and precisely what fuels the sense of simmering social unrest. If we can't talk about it, we will exercise through violent means, I'm afraid. That is what a democracy is. It allows people to vent out through conversation, debate, and ultimately through vote.